The real estate market is starting to show some signs of maybe a recovery. Find out more in this month's market update. Let's take a look. First, let's take a look at median sales price and see where that landed for January. And actually, it did drop about $10,000 for January. Now, mind you, this is very seasonality type normal occurrence of just previous years. We'll see that dip as well. So even taking a look at the last 13 months, this is the lowest that we've seen. But if you look back over the last, since 2012, those little dips you see in there as it goes up, only that ends up happening right around winter time. So taking a look historically, you can see all the way back to 2012 going upward, and you see those little drops in there. That normally happens during the winter months, is it'll just drop. So very normal occurrence. I don't think that's necessarily anything to do with the real estate market currently. Now, why may that not be the case? Well, let's take a look at the pending sales, because median sales price is a lagging indicator, because those sales closed in January that went under contract in December and November usually. And because of that, that's just telling us a story of that time frame of what the market was doing, what it took to get an offer accepted at that time. We need to look at the market today and tell you what's happening. So to do that, we look at the pending sales. And the pending sales, you can see we had been going down, but look at that. There's at the end of it, there's a sign. It's starting to go up. Let's take a closer look though. So taking a look, this is a weekly look. So every week on Fridays, it logs in what the pending sales are for that week. And you can see that we've actually went up a decent amount. And if you look closely, it's actually the most pending sales we've had 2 weeks in a row since August of last year. So we've starting to see a little bit more activity. Now, mind you, this isn't the market's not booming all over again or anything like that, but it does show signs of hope, because we were going downward, and there was a couple times it went down a little bit quicker than we thought it would. So I think this is a good sign of maybe the market has started to stabilize. It's caught its grip, and we're going to see what happens. But let's talk a little bit more. We're going to get into why I might think that's happening. But just mind you, pendings are going up. That more people are going under contract on homes. But just take that with a grain of salt for now. We'll talk more about that here shortly. Let's take a look at unsold listings though first and see what is happening on properties that were on the market and they just didn't sell, unfortunately. They could have been overpriced, or just not desirable, not right for that not right for buyers out there at that time at that price point. So you can see that we spiked up very high back in 2022 and all the way at the end of 2022, that is. And look at that, we're starting to come back down. So that is good news. We're seeing less homes less homes that aren't selling. So that is good news. More likely that if you do put your home on the market today, that it will sell. Obviously, we still got a little bit to go before we get back to where we were 2021, beginning of 2022. Now, median days to contract. This is looking at homes that went on the market and how many days it took to get a contract or an offer on the home that got accepted. And you can see we did go up a little bit more, another 4 days, up to 57 days to contract. So the stark transition from February, March of last year, 5 days. So obviously it's still going to take longer than we did then, but there are homes that are still selling relatively quickly. I wrote an offer for some clients this last month in January, and first weekend they had multiple offers on the property. So if it's priced well, it's going to sell quickly. If you know what, there's sellers out there that might be like, you know what, maybe let's just see if we can get that. That tends to be where those higher numbers are. If they just see if they can get it first. See, maybe the agent's advising them of one price and they're like, let's just go $20,000, $30,000 more to see if we can get it. And unfortunately, as much as agents want to get that for you, that's not always the case, and the property might sit a little bit longer. So that's where that is a lot of times, is just outside of reach. It takes a little bit longer to get the property sold. But in the price point, that varies as well. So here's kind of where you can see in the different price points as well. So if you're looking for a home in the $300,000 to $500,000 range, you can see in the mid to low 30s of 37 and 33 days to get an accepted offer on your home. So that's great news. On the higher end of the spectrum, you're going to see it takes a little bit longer. Now let's take a look at some of these key factors: the sales, new listings, and inventory. Inventory is going to be an important subject here. You can see that inventory is continuing a downward progression. Look at that. Just back in October, it was over 1,300 homes, then 1,000, then 834 in December. Now we're at 681 homes. I feel like this is Groundhog Day. I know that just happened. Groundhog Day all over again, because that was the issue we had before that was driving prices up a lot, was an inventory issue. I was excited because we were finally getting some inventory back, 1,300 homes there and available. And now we're back to 681, half of the homes that we had back then. So, and a lot of that is, look at the sold, or you look at the sold is very low, but look at the new listings, 254 versus back in October, it's 537. So they're neck and neck of the homes coming on the market and the homes that are selling. So that river is just going right through the pond, and it's just, nothing's filling up the lake. The lake is going out down Truckee River, essentially, of those sold listings. A little analogy for you. But so as fast as it's coming in, it's going out. So that's what we're seeing right now, which is creating less inventory. And because of that, that's what's driving up that pool of listings available. So homes, since there's not as much coming on the market, those homes are going under a contract faster. So if you are a seller right now, it might be a really good time before all these sellers decide, hey, maybe we should put our home on the market. So definitely reach out if that may be you. Now let's talk about our solds. You see all the black bars for each year down here compared to it was just November, December, January. If you put that black line all the way across, you're going to see that January 2023 was the lowest sales, since looking back up until 2013. So very low in terms of number of homes that sold. Now taking a look at the new listings, same thing, all the way across. New listings was significantly down. Now let's take a look at inventory. We saw the number of homes that were available on, we had went below 700 homes. Well, how is that divided up? And you can see actually the $300,000 to $400,000 range kind of stayed the same, 63 to 63 homes available in that price point. But most of the other ones actually went downward. 1 million to 1.5 million actually stayed the same, and everything else went down or stayed the same. So it's pretty crazy. That's what we're seeing right now. So I do anticipate that to change. We should see inventory start to rise. We normally start to see, especially a rush end of February, beginning of March, as that spring market starts to ramp up. So I anticipate that to ramp up, but we'll see. Now, is it a buyer's market or seller's market because of all this, So, well, according to this, we went to 2.9 months supply of inventory, which means that we're still considered what's in a seller's market. Now, again, I've said this the last few videos, that doesn't necessarily mean every market's a seller's market. I think there's opportunity and it's a seller's market if a seller is willing to price his or her home correctly. And so just know that, there are buyers out there willing to buy a home, and we just gotta make sure it's priced well to help find them. Now, what's available in your price point? You can see actually here in the $300,000 to $400,000 price point, It's only 1.2 months supply of inventory. That is significantly a seller's market. And what that means is if we listed or we took all the homes that were available on the market today and didn't put any new listings on there, how long would it take for those listings to dry up, essentially, be sold up? And by that, it takes 1.2 months for all the listings in that price point today to actually sell. So you can see that's relatively quick. 5 to 7 months is a balanced market, and that's 1.2 months. So anything below $750,000 is relatively low. Everything north of $1 million is actually considered a buyer's market. Now, we talked about pending earlier. How is that changing? You can see that December was that low point of 286, and we're starting to crawl back up to 338 homes. So I do anticipate that number to continue an upward trend, but we do need more listings to be able to get things under contract. Now let's take a look at Reno and all the other hyperlocal markets. Median sales price for Reno dropped just barely. Looking though at inventory, month over month dropped to over 23%. So we're gonna probably see a pattern over that for now. Closed sales down almost 30% with it taking just a little bit longer for those homes to sell. Let's take a look at Sparks. Median home price stayed the same. Inventory down. New listings actually went up, which is good news, but homes took longer to sell. Month over month, closed units was down 30%. Driving out to Fernley, $372,000 median sales price. Actually bumped up a little bit out there, so that was surprising. Inventory dropped, of course. New listings month over month went up over 114%. That one surprised me. Good news there in terms of available homes for sale. So that was definitely needed, I'm sure. So it's 45 homes available in Fernley. Median days to contract did jump up a bit too to 75 days. Taking a look into Carson City, our capital, median sales price went up to $550,000. Mind you, that is more than Reno. Yeah, I just, I wish I could explain better what's going on there, but it seems to be holding a little bit stronger right now. Active inventory did drop 26.5%, with new listings up over 9%. And days to contract actually dropped 19% to 42 days. So very interesting stuff in Carson City. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but yeah, good job, Carson City. Gardnerville and Minden, what's happening there? Well, 19% jump month over month for median sales price to $625,000. We saw inventory drop down a little over 12% to 120 homes available there. With the new listings coming in down almost 14%. And we saw median days to contract, it actually went down 17% to 55 days. Now I want to finish this off with condo townhomes in the Reno-Sparks area. Median sales price there went up 2.5% to $322,500. This is a great opportunity if you are wanting to get in the market and maybe can't quite afford the home you want today. Condo or townhome may be a great option, a more affordable option if that HOA payment isn't too high. Taking a look at active inventory, did drop down 10%, but new listings actually spiked up 51%. That's good news. We saw that drop the previous month, so I'm glad to see that going back up. Need some new listings in there and more availability for these buyers out there. And median days to contract actually dropped 31% too, so that is good news. We're seeing that change. A lot is happening in the market right now, so it is we're seeing prices drop, but activity going upward. What does that all mean? I'm going to keep watching that. Be sure if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my social media links are below. Follow me and like me on those sites because I post weekly stats on there so you can see in depth. So if you don't want to wait a month for my next monthly market update, you can at least see a weekly transition of week over week time. So please be sure to do that so you can follow along. If you haven't though, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel over here and watch my other videos over here, like my monthly forecast video I just posted recently right up there. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.